Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 2020 full moon reading for you. And this full moon is a really exciting full moon. Not only is it the first full moon of a decade, but it is also a full moon eclipse right on the tail of a new moon eclipse, which is how we ended 2019. And so the power here is absolutely breathtaking. So let's dive into things. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. And I am going to be moving your Spirit Guide Animal cards over to the side, and we'll be using these at the very end. And then I have your Moonology cards, which are up here, as well as your Queen of the Moon, which is also up here, and so is the Spirit Guide Oracle cards. And these I will be layering on top of the traditional tarot at the end of the reading to give you extra insight, to really let Luna speak for herself, really let the moon speak for herself. And it just adds such beauty and such depth to the situation. So let's see now. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus, what January's full moon has in store for you. Scorpio, how will Scorpio be affected by January 2020 full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020's full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by, oh goodness, there we go, by the January 2020 full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020 full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020 full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, 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 show me clearly. Fantastic. All right, at the center of everything, Scorpio, is the Knight of Swords. This is an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. You are crowned here by the Four of Swords. And then you have the Star card, which is beautiful. The Star represents an Aquarius energy, a time frame of January 20th to February 18th. So right in the heart of this reading, but it also is calling to the new moon, which the new moon is in Aquarius. So the new moon is going to be very impactful for you. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Your root is the Queen of Swords. I love that because at your heart you are protecting the Queen. Right? The Knight protects the Queen, but there's a sense of truth and a sense of understanding really coming forward. Then you have the Ten of Swords right here. And the Death card. I was waiting for you to show up, Scorpio. You are represented by the Death card in the Major Arcana, and you are represented by the Cups in the Minor Arcana. Then we have the Eight of Swords. The repeat of the number 8 is meaning that this is a very serious time for you. You're going to be taking things very seriously. The Devil card, a little bit too seriously at times. So don't think, oh my gosh, it's a life or death situation. This, you'll make the situation bigger in your head, is what Spirit is saying here. And then Judgment, you rise to the top, and that is really quite exquisite. That is quite exquisite. All right. All right, so let's get into this moon. I'm going to explain all the cards that I have here. I'm just so drawn to the cards that you have out because it tells such a beautiful, beautiful story. This moon is in Cancer, so this moon is fantastic for water sign energies, as you are Scorpio. And what this moon shows is power and a surrendering to the divine. So as you embrace power, as you move forward, you surrender to the divine and you surrender to this higher power. And the beautiful thing about this full moon in Cancer is that you are surrounded by the sacred feminine energy. You are surrounded by this sense of Scorpio, you're surrounded by the sense of being in the womb, of developing, of growing, of seeing things differently than ever before, and of aligning with something that is going to help you evolve to the next level. Yeah, this brings you to the next level, this moon. And it brings about forgotten memories, most definitely. But for you, these forgotten memories, when aligned with this full moon, are going to put a spotlight on a power that you've forgotten, a sense of self that has been ignored. This full moon also aligns with home. It aligns with belonging. right? Needing a place to belong to, a sense of belonging within yourself, within your soul, within your journey. This is ancestral roots as well. So a firm connection to the ancestors, but also to your past lives. You might be having very vivid dreams, and I wouldn't be surprised, Scorpio, if you did have very vivid dreams from January 10th, which is when the full moon begins, to February 9th, which is when the full moon in of February comes into play, right? So from the 10th to the 9th is the length of this reading, is where this moon will be, is how this moon will be impacting you and when this moon will be impacting you. And you're going to be getting dreams from, it can be from your ancestors, but I'm really seeing it here. If you don't believe in past lives, then yes, it will be from your ancestors. But if you do believe in past lives, it is going to be from your past life. And it can be one dream that you kind of have continuously until you see what's at the heart of it, or a sense of you wake up feeling a certain way or in a certain mood. There is also a sense of sanctuary here, needing a place that is secure and bountiful to yourself. So this full moon really does align you with the sacred feminine, and the sacred feminine is the one who's pulling out what has been forgotten, what has been overlooked. And for you, Scorpio, since you live so much in the shadows, and I mean that in a very, very, very positive way, all right, I believe that that is a absolutely exquisite way to live. You see the grays of things. It's not all black and white. There is a tremendous amount of gray, and that's what you're embracing. You're embracing the in-betweens, and you are embracing a deeper desire and a deeper truth for things. And so here, what has been forgotten, the sacred feminine is bringing to the surface. It's coming from a place of love and understanding. There's also a sense of emotional sanctuary. Yeah, emotional sanctuary during this time, a sense of needing a place to feel comfortable opening up your heart, because this moon is all about the heart. It's all about emotion. And as you move forward and as you open up your heart, you rise to a higher sense of self and you rise in a higher truth. This moves you to the moon being, okay, the full moon is a wolf moon. And this leads you to being hungry. It leads you to being hungry for what you desire to create. It leads you to feeling a deeper drive and a deeper urge to let out your call also to what you want and what you want to create in this world. It's very much you howling to the moon, you letting out your call to this moon of what you want to create. And this is the perfect time to plant the seed of what you desire. Right? It's kind of like a New Year's resolution, yes, but it's taking the seed of what you want to create, of where you want to be, of how you want to move forward, and kind of spirit is settling it onto kind of one word, one thing, and with that, it can be happiness, it can be truth, it can be, a sense, it can be purpose. And as you plant that seed within your soul, within yourself, that is what you're going to be evolving on and incubating during this time. It does not matter if you're in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. It is like that little chick incubator. And I remember we raised chicks, what was it, when I was really little in like first grade, to show us how to take care of things. And I just remember how beautiful it was to have those little chicks be born, and how warm that little incubator was. And there is the sense here of that warmth just surrounding you and radiating from you. So you are going to have moments of feeling cold and feeling alone, but that's just because you're stepping closer into your truth. And as you step closer into your truth, you are stepping further away from kind of the mainstream of everybody else. And with this full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. There is a sense of your song being heard, this personal issue that you are howling to the moon, that you are letting out and freeing yourself from. It is heard, and you move forward in a powerful truth and in a powerful abundance. This then leads you to the full moon eclipse, which says conclusions are within reach. You are going to be seeing a lot of truths during this time, which can be overwhelming and disconcerting at times, but are also going to be very freeing, very empowering. And the conclusions are within reach because you're feeling very grounded. Rose is a very important color for this time. And I see rose quartz as being very important to you. Rose is a very, again, important color. And if you carry a bit of a rose with you, or you wear rose scent if you like it, or drink rose tea, or just something to that effect. It's very calming, very soothing, and it's also going to help you heal with within emotional truth and within emotional power. Yeah. So if you have a rose quartz little piece of jewelry or a pebble or something like that, put it in your pocket or carry it with you. Just keep it on you, because it is going to help ground you through a time where it almost feels like you can be swept away in the emotions of things. And that's the truth of it. You can be swept away in the emotions of things, in the heart of things. And so as you get swept away, things become overpowering, things become overwrought. And so here with the rose quartz, with the stone quite literally grounding you, connecting you to the earth, it is going to be that centering space. And it is also going to be something that you can use textilely to like put in your hand and kind of fidget with a little bit when you're working on a problem, when you're working on something bigger, to center you and to embrace your heart, your soul, and yourself. So I would carry that pebble, I would carry that stone with you from the 10th to the 9th of February, from the 10th of January to the 9th of February. And then we have the void of course. The void of course happens at 6:58 Eastern Standard Time. All right, and it says nothing will come of this situation. When you do something, and this is during the full moon, this is on January 9th, when you do something at 6:58, and I would give it a whole hour. So I would say from 6:30 to 7:30, if you can avoid making any big decisions, this is PM, if you can avoid, doing anything that will have a lasting outcome. All right? Because here it is not going to work the way you thought it would. And there's going to be something that comes up that I see shadows around, which aren't necessarily a bad thing for you, because you are represented, Scorpio, by the Death card. But these shadows are saying that other people's shadows can come into the situation. You might feel after you make a decision, you might be really happy with it, and then you're going to see other people's nonsense starts mucking up the waters and making things harder to move and not manipulate, but maneuver in. All right, so I'm going to have in the description box below all the void of courses for January and February, February up to the 9th. And I would highly recommend avoiding making any big decisions at any of these times, just because an unwarranted sneakiness is around these decisions. All right, and it's not for you, it's somebody else. And it is a sense here that that's the way things, nothing will come of it. What you think will come of it will not come, but it's going to be in a sneaky way. It's not going to be in a forceful way. It's not going to be in a trickster way. It's going to be in a sneaky, like there is a truth that I do not want you to know type of way. And you're going to get tired of it, because if there's one thing, Scorpio, that you cannot abide, it is sneakiness. And this here is just going to rub you the wrong way. And then we move to the moon in Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius. The Aquarius energy is very strong here with you as you move forward. And the Aquarius energy says, bring love into the situation. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're bringing love into the situation. You're bringing a sense of peace, a sense of power of self. But there is a sense of your cup running over with this sense of love. And you are filling yourself up with this sense of love. Coming from the heart is always a fantastic thing for you. And it is not going to serve you wrong here. Then we have the new moon itself says a new start is coming. There's a new start to what it is that you are figuring out about yourself, but there's also a new start to you, where you emotionally want to be, how you want to stand, what you are looking at for yourself. And that is evolving you forward, and that is moving you forward. That moves you to the spirit animals for this month. In the month of January, the spirit animals are the brown spirit bear, are the bear and the owl. Here it is the brown spirit bear, and it says take time out. Take time out to step back, to look at things, to look at the situation, to look at what it is that you want, where it is that you're headed. You need to take time out, because if you see here, I look at this, and the first thing I see is an acorn, that something great can grow out of something so small. So that seed that you are planting within yourself, something very great can grow of it. But this is also a paw print. This is you putting your paw print in the dirt, and saying, this is who I am. You're marking what you want and how you want to evolve. And then we have the owl spirit, which says you see clearly now by stepping back, taking time out, looking at things through a different light, you will see more clearly. And as you see more clearly, and as you move into February, February has the otter spirit, which says you are never alone. There is always a sense of love and being intertwined with love and the love of your angels and your spirit guides. At the heart of everything here, Scorpio, is the Knight of Swords. So this is a time of action. This moon is going to bring a tremendous sense of action. And I don't know if I told you when the new moon is. The new moon is January 24th. I got so caught up in everything that Spirit was saying that sometimes the details like dates just fall away. So January 24th is the new moon. And here with the Knight of Swords at your heart, again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but there's a true sense of power here, and there's a power within your words. It's within what you speak and manifest as you move forward. And as I'm looking at this, I just keep seeing her within this, it looks like to me a dark calla lily, right? A deep purple, a black calla lily, and the magic comes forward. So you're going to be getting ideas, you're going to be getting insights from this moon, from Luna, as you are being graced by the sacred feminine, as the divine, as you surrender to the divine, and as you move forward. And here you're going to want to immediately take action. And as you go forward to immediately take action, what's going to come up is you're going to start looking at things and saying, oh my gosh, what do people think? Like, what would people think if I did this? What would happen if because there's a strong connection to the earth. And it's not just with the devil. It's this here I see very much as kind of a caricature of the devil. You know, you have this skeleton demon and you have these kind of warped, bloated figures down at the bottom. And so here there's a sense of, yes, we are tied to our base desires. We're also tied to what society wants. But as we break those ties, we can see the ridiculousness of it all. And also you can start to see that the devil, or how the devil is represented, was a corruption of forest gods before, monotheism took over, before Christianity and Judaism, the Judeo-Christian religions came forward, Islam, and we sit here and we see that the devil is not this terrifying figure, but it is a figure that was once sacred, if not fully understood, because the powers of nature are never fully understood. And this is the power that is moving you forward, where you're sitting there and you're breaking ties, not with any traditions. It's not saying, become pagan and run forward and, follow only Pan or something to that effect. It's saying, look at what it is that you want from your life, but do not let the desires of others dictate the way that you are moving forward, and do not let it make going off the beaten track, not following the straight line of what other people are doing or how other people are achieving their dreams become something bad, because it's not. It just isn't. And there needs to be an openness of soul and an openness of self for you as you move forward. And that's going to be so important for you at this time. To not feel tied down, to not feel as if you make a decision that maybe is a little bit off the beaten track, isn't quite like everybody else's, that it would be a bad thing, because it most definitely will not. This is also a Capricorn energy time frame, December 21st to January 19th. So you have the whole time frame, because we go into the Aquarius time frame, you have the whole time frame of this reading shining forward. And as you move in the light of divine surrendering, you are going to see that the fears, the doubts, the anger that might have been holding you back is going to start to fall away as revelations are had, as you see forgotten truths, and as you move forward in forgotten wisdom. Do not take action right away. As you charge, you're actually going to find that you will misstep a little bit. You will kind of stumble, and that will make you doubt, and that will make you think, oh my gosh, this is right. I can only do things in a very certain way, a very specific way. And here it's saying, no, free yourself from needing to act immediately. Step back, think about things, make sure you have things aligned, and then go for it. Then go after what you desire, and you will go after it with a ferocity of spirit that actually kind of takes you by surprise here, Scorpio. At your crown is the Four of Swords. Now the Four of Swords is needing to rest, but also this Four of Swords is being guarded by the moon, all right? Because we have the wolf moon here, and we have the wolves guarding this man. Now he might very well be sleeping, he might have passed on, you really don't know. But there is a candle burning in his shoe, and that couldn't have been lit by the wolves that surround him. So I would say that he is resting in meditation, and kind of, Spirit is saying, embracing physical discomfort to get spiritually to where it is that he wants to be. So you might feel yourself being rather uncomfortable in certain situations or at certain moments, but it is going to lead, and you'll see it, you'll see this kind of twist on things, is going to lead you to moving forward towards what you want and what you desire. And there's going to be a revelation that comes. Spirit is also saying here, when it comes to the new moon, okay, so I was looking at the Aquarius card. When it comes to the new moon's color is coral, all right? So you have rose and coral here. And what is going to be so important is if you can have a piece of coral in your pocket or with you, to have the earth and to have the sea represented at this time is going to be so centering for you, because you're going to be walking two worlds, the one of emotions and the one of, the mundanely kind of physical earthly world. And here you are going to be looking at all the trials and tribulations that you have been through, all the hardships, all the things that have been thrown at you, and you're going to see that you're actually doing better than you have imagined, and it is leading you to the Eight of Swords here. So the mind is truly, truly, truly on display during this full moon. And that is beautiful, because we are emotional beings, right? And as emotional beings, our emotions dictate our thoughts, or dictate how we interpret our thoughts and kind of see the world. So here, I really feel as if your mental mind is being purged of negativity. The fires come up over it. And what you have is a sense of doubts and a sense of fear. But if you see this oxen or this bull or whatever it is right behind him, is not afraid, even though the fires burn behind. There's a sense of being connected, of being secure. And you're going to see that within this moon. It comes with the full moon on the 10th. It comes with a sense of being protected, of seeing greater truths, of knowing greater desires. And then here, a whole bunch of doubts and fears are going to come in. The moon is already saying here, look, we're watching over you. Don't worry about it. But you're going to worry anyway, because you're human, and that's what we do. We worry, we fret, we stumble over our words. We look at things that we have said and go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I could only have a rewind button in my life. And unfortunately, you can't. Things are done, and they're done. So here, do not put yourself in chains. Ooh, goodness. In chains because of the mind. Because it can so easily happen. The chains can come, and you can live within those thoughts for the rest of your life. You really can. Right? Some things just play on loop. And if only, if only, if only. No. No, what is that old saying? If wishes were horses, beggars would ride? Isn't that from Arabian Nights or something to that effect? I don't remember. But that's the kind of thing. It can eat up your whole entire life. And here, it is knowing the power of your passion, knowing the power of your truth, and breaking the bonds that the mind has created by the cleansing of the heart. And that's what's here. There's a cleansing of the heart that comes with this full moon. And it leads you to being one imposing person. I mean, at your heart is already the Knight of Swords. I mean, you are there. You are going to take over. You are going to conquer. You are there for the long haul. And nothing that anybody says, that anybody does, can stand in your way. It's like, no, this brings in light, and it brings in truth, and it brings in determination, and that leads you to becoming the queen of the situation. Now, the queen is absolutely exquisite, right? She is going to be more of the director, more of the person behind the scenes. I see queens not as male or as female, but the kings are the actors upon the stage, and the queens are the directors behind the scenes. And right now, you are that director, and the doubt and the fear that you have had, all right, that's it, now guards you. This bull now guards you and becomes your greatest ally, because you're seeing, you know what, if I have gone through all of this, if I have risen from these fires, from kind of the hell of my own mind, then I can do anything, because I'm not going to be held back. I'm not going to be defined by what other people want and what other people say. Now it's time to move forward in my truth, cutting through doubts and fears. And then you have judgment. You rise. You rise. You rise to unbelievable heights. And you might be like, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on here? It's a surrender to the divine that is going on here. It's a surrender to the sacred feminine, and it's what has been forgotten coming to the forefront. It is what you haven't realized about yourself, or what you knew about yourself, but you hid away because it was too much. And now with the Queen of Swords, again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you cut through doubts and fears. You move forward in the truth of your mind and the power of your conviction. Also know that during this time, because you have all air sign energy at your head, your heart, and your feet, and the Aquarius energy is so very intense. You are going to find that you can be a little bit sharp with your words. The Aquarius energy is going to help balance that, but there is going to be a sharpness to your words at times, a sense that you snip when you get really stressed, and as you are going through this evolution of soul and self, as you are being empowered, right? And you rise, you hear the judgment, and you are called up. The magic within you pulls you up, and you are going to see yourself rise to greater heights than ever before. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable at times. It's okay. It's okay that it's uncomfortable. Know that it's uncomfortable for a reason, because nothing that is worth having is ever easy. It's just not. It's always going to be out of your comfort zone. It's always going to have you looking at things a bit differently. But there's a ferocity to you. There's a truth to you. There's a sense of a slaying of the enemies, a slaying of the doubts, the fears, the apprehensions, it's not darkness, because so much is going to be revealed within darkness, but it is that darkness that is the pitch black, that makes you feel all alone, that is this endless cavern. And if it's an endless cavern of white or an endless cavern of black, whatever it is going to be overstimulating all at once and completely denying you of stimulation, denying you of a sense of connection. And that's the power that you are moving past, right? That's the force that you are taking hold of. And as you do so, you will experience, and I love it that the Ten of Swords goes into the Death card, because they're very much saying to me here, kind of very much the same thing. You have a death, right? It's just like there's an ending. There's a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. But here, during this wolf moon, you are going to see that enough is enough. Something is ended. This is the darkness before the dawn. You might be feeling astoundingly emotional during this time, a little bit weepy, sitting there and thinking, why am I being affected this way? What the heck is going on here? The wolf moon comes to you and actually checks if you're okay. They're not tearing the man apart. They're checking, they're seeing. And you're going to see that with this crown upon your head and this sword in your hand, you rise. You rise to claim your throne. And that is what your roots are all about. It's about rising to claim the throne, and then you rebuild. You take the doubts, you take the fears, you take the darkness, and you move to the Eight of Pentacles. This is creating a shelter for what you love. You have here the dog, and you have the squirrel, and you have money. So by helping others, by doing what is right, and working hard and dedicating yourself, you create prosperity. But you also remember who needs you, because that truth is going to be very powerful for you. There are those who need you and who need you to help them move forward. And I'm not saying to go out and, help everybody who is wounded, because that's just going to drain you. What I am seeing here is you setting down a shelter for what's truly valuable to your heart. And that starts letting in a bounty, because it starts embracing a truth about yourself. And it's going to be hard work. And there's hard work and there's dedication here. And at times you will feel out in the cold and all alone as you embrace this hard work and this dedication. But the payoff is going to be absolutely amazing. It really is. And it leads you to being freed from the desires of others, from rising higher than ever before, than you ever would have thought. And seeing that the magic in you calls to you and embraces you. Then we have the Death card. The Death card is a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. And this embodies you, Scorpio. Your life is all about change. You could be defined by Plato saying all is flux and nothing stays the same. That is the epitome of you. And here, there is a sense of the cauldron lit by the moon. There is a sense of a magic brewing. And as the magic brews, you move away. You move away from the distasteful into the power. But the thing with you is that you will never be defeated. One of the reasons why human beings are so scared of death, first of all, it's an ending, but also it's never something you can outrun. It's not something that you can fight. And that's what people are going to see with you. You're not somebody that you can fight. There's always a sense of something greater to you, some greater truth, some greater power, something more that can be done, that you can do, and that you're bringing to the table. And so there is a power to you here as you embrace a rebirth and as you move forward towards what you were born for. And as you do so, you're going to see the darkness of the new moon. Very impactful for you. The full moon, yes, it illuminates you, but the darkness of the new moon is going to bring you to the sense of connecting with what you truly love. The star of Venus is above him. And here, why I say put a piece of coral and a piece of rose quartz in your pocket, have it on your desk, have it with you, is because he's watering the pond and he's watering the roses. He's watering the earth. So he's bringing the lifeblood of both to it. Okay, a pond would be nothing without earth to hold it in place. Right? It would just be water spread out over everywhere and it would evaporate up. The earth would be nothing without, well, it would be something, but it would not be as lush and it would have nothing on it without water running through it and upon it. And that's what you're doing here. You're bringing a balance of the soul, of the water of life, into the world. And what you're also going to be seeing here. Okay, so what Spirit is saying is that your blood is going to call to you. And I know that sounds really kind of, ooh, okay, that's freaky. I don't mean it in a freaky way, but I see the blood, of courses through our veins as the ocean within us, as the rivers within us. And what it's going to be here is the phases of the moon call to your heart because, blood, of course, comes from our hearts. So there is a sense here of a purification coming from this moon. And it's going to be calling to the essence of you, to the inner power of you. So just know that. Be prepared for it because it can be rather overwhelming. And it will lead you to looking at a lot of self-doubt, a lot of recrimination at times. And it's going to lead you to being set free, to rising higher, to embracing something more. And as you embrace this more, you become more than you had ever expected. And it is exquisite for you. So let's see what the Moonology cards have to say. And I'm going to be doing half Moonology, half Queen of the Moon. So let's see now. How will January 2020's full moon affect Scorpio? How will January's 2020 full moon affect Scorpio? How will January's 2020 full moon affect Scorpio? How will January's 2020 full moon affect Scorpio? Show me clearly, 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 show me clearly. Fantastic. I'm just going to lay these out quietly. Well, there you are. You shine through as the full moon in Scorpio. So your power, your truth is really embracing you. And it's over the 10 of Swords. So the dying away of the old self, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, the sense of coming into your power and looking at your truth. And then we have here the Queen of the Moon. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. How will the January full moon affect Scorpio? How will the January full moon affect Scorpio? How will the January full moon affect Scorpio? How will the January 2020 full moon affect Scorpio? How will the January 2020 full moon affect Scorpio? Show me clearly, 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 show me clearly. Fantastic. This is the first time that I have used the Queen of the Moon oracle cards in the moon readings, and you guys are my first people to get faith. A lot of people have been getting, a lot of the zodiacs have been getting the same cards coming up from the Queen of the Moon, but you have gotten a different one, and that is really, really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's see here. At the heart of everything is the new moon eclipse. So you have not only the eclipse shining through, the full moon eclipse, but you have the new moon eclipse. So it can be the new moon eclipse from December, right? The December full moon, but it is saying here, expect powerful change, and you're ready for powerful change, moving you forward, going after what it is that you want. You are embracing this powerful change, and it becomes a part of you, and it becomes a part of your soul, this sense of moving towards a victory. And that is what you're doing during this full moon, and it leads you to boundaries, needing to set really clear boundaries with the rest of the world. As you create something beautiful and unique and peaceful and lovely, boundaries are set, and an understanding is given. This leads you to the full moon in Sagittarius, which says, look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture of what is going on. Instead of focusing fully on turning inward, look at what you want outwardly to achieve, and start to see that it's happening. Start to see that this moon is protecting you to kind of do what you have wanted to do, but never really thought that you could. Now look at everything that you have been through, and look at all you wish to accomplish, and see yourself moving forward in that power and in that truth that leads you to faith. And it's having faith within yourself, having faith within the earth as the moon shines on the earth and she is pregnant with the earth. Having faith in that as you move forward, as you go after what it is that you want, as you move past doubts and fears, and as the fires burn away what once has held you back within your mind. Because you're going to see here this kind of bullheadedness, this Taurian energy. It can even be a Taurus that helps you move forward. Time frame April 20th to May 20th is the Taurus time frame. But it moves you to the gibbous moon, which says you're very close to achieving your goals. And then that bull that was behind you as the fires burnt, as you were surrounded by doubts and fears, becomes that bull that stands beside you as you sit on your throne, as you embrace your knowledge, as you work more behind the scenes of things to state the truth, to state what it is that you need and where it is that you want to be. And as you see that you are very close to achieving your goals, but also embracing the power that this achievement brings you, you move towards change. And this is judgment. You rise from the fires. You push against the moon. You see yourself soaring to a height almost unimaginable from before. And as you do so, you're going to see the God's head within you pulled and called forward. Brahma said that he hid the God's head within man because we would never see it. Okay, we would never find it there. You're starting to not only see it, but you're starting to feel it, burning with power inside you. This leads you to the full moon in Scorpio, which says, it is time to release negativity. It is. It's time to let it go. It's kind of like Elsa in Frozen. Just let it go. And I know that sounds so easy and that sounds so light and fun and, silly to say, but there is a need for some silliness because you have the repeat of the number 8. The 8 is a very, very, very serious number. And as you look at things and you're being so serious and you're saying, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at everything that has happened. The moon is saying to you, I'm right here with you. Luna is saying, I have you. I'm holding on to you. Don't worry. It's time to let go of so much so you can rise to fight as the warrior queen that you are, as the knight that you are. This leads you to patience. Have patience as you build something that is everlasting, I mean, he's not building, this is a doghouse. He's not building this doghouse out of twigs. It's kind of like, the three little pigs. One built their house out of twigs, one out of, one out of straw, one out of twigs, and the other out of bricks. You're building your house out of bricks. You're caring for what you truly love, for what's important to you. And it's not simply yourself, it's broadening your heart. It's broadening your soul. And it will bring you prosperity that was unimaginable before. Because you're looking at the world through your heart instead of through your logical mind. And as you do so, you set boundaries and change comes. Because we are moving here. Oh goodness. Just gonna move these over. We are moving here to the full moon in Libra. And this says a win-win outcome is forecast. So for past you and present you and future you, there is a win-win. A dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new, you win. This leads you to self-reflection. This leads you to looking at things in a new way, in a new light. And as you do so, you see the balance between the earthly plane and the spiritual plane. You see the balance of what you want to create and what you are striving towards. This leads you to being crowned by love, and it leads you to having faith in the earth and in what is being created within and upon the earth. And you set boundaries because you know where you want your faith to be, and you know what you want your creation to be. Let's see what your Spirit Guide Animal cards have to say. How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020 full moon? How will Scorpio be affected by the January 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. His stuff. The Dove Spirit says, be peace. Be peace as you move forward. Your subconscious message is the fox. Think on your feet. Don't take people's word as law. Think on your feet and think for yourself. There is a power to you. There is a forgotten truth to you that you are reveling in at this time, and that is moving you forward in a grace and in a bounty that is absolutely astounding. Your subconscious message for this whole entire reading, well, not the whole entire, yes, for the whole entire reading by the Moonology cards, is the new moon in Virgo. It says a time to give rather than to take. It's time to give. It's time to give to the earth. It's time to give to yourself. It's time to see your power and see your truth and walk forward in the light of love, which is a giving light instead of a taking light. Your subconscious message for the Queen of the Moon is balance. It is all about balance. And you are going to see that you hold this moon in your hand because you hold it in your heart, and it becomes part of your truth. And as it waxes and wanes, you are going to see that so much is built within you that comes from the light of the moon, that comes from this place of serenity and secrets. This leads you to the subconscious message for this whole entire reading, being the magician. You create the impossible. You have all the tools before you. Subconsciously, you know this. Consciously, what this moon is doing is purging away the doubts and the fears and the apprehension so that you stand in the power of your greatness and you manifest something absolutely, unbelievably breathtaking. And there's a shedding away of skin. If you see here, it looks already as if the snake has shed the skin as you embrace the power. You have shed your old self, and now you are embracing a new, truthful, bountiful one. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you, and I love you all. Bye.